So within a few years, you might have seen a lot of confusion in the Indian smartphone market. Like just a few hours ago, Samsung announced a 5G version of Samsung A52 and Realme announced Realme Narzo 30 5G. Now 5G versions of phones are regular. We all know about Redmi Note 10 5G and Realme 8 5G were confirmed. Now 2 more smartphones have joined the 5G hype train. Another interesting news that came out yesterday was a new sub-brand of Realme is launched called Dizzo, which is funny because Realme is already a sub-brand of Oppo, which again along with Vivo, OnePlus, iQOO is a sub-brand of BBK Electronics. And now Dizzo, more sub-brands. And things don't stop here. To add more confusion to all of these, in the previous month of March and April, a whopping 26 and 22 smartphones were launched in India. Almost one smartphone a day. As you can see, the confusion in the Indian smartphone market is increasing day by day. I'm sure all of you can relate as well. If you have to buy a smartphone these days, it's just so confusing to pick one. iQOO Z3 or OnePlus Nord CE or Redmi Note 10 Pro Max, or should I wait for OnePlus Nord 2? But have you ever thought, why is there so much confusion? Why are there so many smartphone launches in India only? Well, this is Prateek. You're already watching Techwiser, and like most of the things, the simple answer to the smartphone releases lies in the simple equation of demand and supply. The entire world works on simple logics. If the demand increases, you increase supply. If the demand decreases, you decrease the supply, right? And this demand and supply is also responsible for smartphone confusion. Let's find out how. If you take a look at countries like US or China, the smartphone market has almost plateaued. Done. No one is buying a new smartphone. The only people who buy new smartphones are the ones who are upgrading from an old to new smartphone once every few years. So less demand and less supply. But that's the exact opposite in India. Out of 1.3 billion people, only 350 million people have smartphones right now. There are 950 million people left. Out of that, a lot of people will buy their first smartphone, and on top of that, the existing users like you will upgrade to newer smartphones. So yes, there's a crazy demand for smartphones in India, and to match that, companies have to increase the supply, increase it drastically. Now you may say, so what? Just make smartphones to increase the supply, right? Well, it's not that easy. To increase supply, companies have to implement various marketing strategies. And the side effect of these strategies is confusion. Confusion is the keyword here. And we are seeing a lot confusion lately. Now, what these marketing strategies and side effects are, let's understand them one by one with an example. First strategy to increase smartphone supply is brand identity. So for example, say you are a well-established brand like the Redmi phone. And if you want to sell more smartphones, there is a limit to what you can sell under the Redmi brand, since Redmi phones are known to be high specs under budget. So Redmi isn't huge profit making for Xiaomi in long term. So what do? You open new sub-brands like Poco and Mi series. And the same is the case with not only Xiaomi, but the other sub-brands like Oppo, Vivo, Realme, OnePlus and iQOO. Some of them are profit making like Oppo and OnePlus, and some of them grab a larger audience like Realme and iQOO but make less profits. But the side effect of all of these is that the consumer gets a fake picture of choices. Wow, there are so many smartphone brands in India, but behind the scene, no matter which product you choose, ultimately it's the same parent company making all the profits. Now, second popular strategy that brands use to sell a smartphone is new is equal to latest bias. A general perception in tech or even cars, any product is if it's new, it will be the latest. New is equal to latest. Smartphone companies use this same bias to release a lot of smartphones like they did in the month of March and April by releasing 20 plus smartphones, almost one smartphone a day. And customers think if it's new, it will be the latest specs. And this is true for most part. A smartphone in 2021 is better than a smartphone in 2020. But not if you release a smartphone every day. This also has side effects for brands, creators, and even buyers. For example, Realme Narzo 30 4G 5G is almost similar to Realme 8 4G and 5G. Buyers are often confused which phone to buy, and creators don't get enough time to review a phone properly. And leave that aside for a moment. This time it even backfires to brands as well. See, now you almost have a countrywide lockdown and smartphone sales are the lowest. Even the smartphone retailers are not stocking up the latest smartphone because they know by the time the lockdown ends, the smartphone companies would have new smartphones to release. So what would they do with the older phones? Who will buy those? Anyways, the third most popular strategy to sell smartphones is hype. Smartphones are still new to most people in India, especially in small towns. And since most people don't understand smartphones well enough, companies can spend money on marketing to sell whatever they want. A good example is the recent 5G hype. If you do a good research or just watch our video, it will take 2 to 3 years for India to get good 5G network. But since the general public don't know that, all smartphone companies are releasing a 5G variant of their popular phone like Realme 8 5G, Samsung A52 5G, Redmi Note 10 5G and Narzo 30 5G. Now, the side effect of this strategy is, as a user, if I buy a phone right now and the company releases a 5G variant next month, this leaves me disappointed or basically stupid. So to sum it up, smartphone demands are ever increasing in India and so is the smartphone sales. Now to meet those smartphone sales, companies use clever strategies like creating sub-brands, new is equal to latest bias, marketing hype, which often creates a lot of confusion for us buyers, you. So what can you as a customer do about this? Well, awareness. Not many people know while buying a phone, so as a tech enthusiast, be aware, be wiser. If you like this video, share it with your friends on WhatsApp so even they can be aware and stay wiser, and be aware about all those gimmicks. Talking about gimmicks, there are a whole lot of gimmicks that smartphone companies do. Let me know if you would like to do a video on that as well. And this is Prateek. I'll see you soon.